Fallout Shelter tips. These are some tips I wrote for the video game Fallout Shelter. When you are being raided or when there is an incident, your supply of food, water, and electricity may flash in red, which is at the top of the screen, which indicates you are losing resources or they are being stolen from you. The longer you take to resolve the incident, the more resources you will lose. So if you see them flashing red, you don't want to lose resources. Sometimes you have a surplus and sometimes you don't. Place rooms near the main entrance that require strength. This will give your dwellers a better chance against fighting raiders. So this is my super reactor. This is the main entrance to the vault. I have a bedroom over here, and then it goes into the workout room, and then through the dining room, and then into my super reactor. You want the S near the entrance. So put your super reactors after the elevator here, and then maybe on the right or across the top, etc. And the reason why is because all of the people that are going to work here are going to have the strength skill, and then when the raiders come in, you'll have stronger people that have to fight against the raiders. If you're using a layout with 3 wide rooms on the left, the elevator, a 3 wide room, an elevator, and a 2 wide room, place the less essential rooms on the right in the 2 wide room column. This includes training, storage, radio station, etc. So what I did was on the right, where the rooms are only 2 wide, I put the observatory, I believe it's called. You could put the radio station, and I put it's all training rooms for me, and maybe some storage, because you want your production rooms like the electricity, food, etc., to be 3 rooms wide so you maximize the production. And the training, you're only going to use training for a while. Once you train everybody, you're not going to use it anymore. So I made them only 2 wide, and then when they're done, I'm going to get rid of all the duplicates and I will replace them with storage rooms. If your shelter is full, dwellers can continue to get pregnant, but will never give birth. If your shelter is full, dwellers can continue to get pregnant, but will never give birth. So what happens is I've got tons of pregnant dwellers, and my shelter's full, so they can't defend themselves. They can't help out with any incidences, and they can't help out with any raiders, and they can't go scout the wasteland. They just do the normal work. You will not be able to see which armaments they have, so they might have a strong weapon. They will not fight, so you want to take the good weapons away from them. They won't take care of firefighting, won't explore the wasteland, and they reduce security and safety. So if you have too many pregnant dwellers, there will be problems. And put them lower in your shelter. You don't want to put them near the entrance because they're not going to do anything. One of the problems you're going to have is if you have too many in a room and then something happens like a fire, they're all going to run away and nobody will be there to take care of whatever the incident is. You might find additional characters in the game who will visit your shelter. They will increase your happiness, and if you click on them while dancing, you might earn caps. Here you have what's called Bottle and Cappy, I believe they're called. This is just Cappy. And then you got Mr. Handy, and you've got one of the dwellers. If they start dancing and you click on them, you get something of value. Place your storage rooms at the bottom of your shelter. If you run out of electricity, like the bottom room over here, your important rooms will not be shut off. The rooms furthest from electrical rooms will lose power if there's a shortage of electricity, so make them your storage rooms. This is not a storage room. It looks like a Nuka-Cola, and then 2 storage rooms, and then a storage room with no power. While you have mole rats, you will lose resources such as food and water. As I showed you at the start of the video, your resources will start flashing red. If you do not defeat them, they will spread and become harder to defeat, and they will steal resources for a longer period of time. They become harder to defeat because you won't be able to outnumber them. You can only have 6 people in a room, and if they enter another room, they have to run to the other room, and the other room might be empty. Like they might go into your storage rooms, which are empty, and they can cause a lot of problems. It becomes more and more difficult. Use the clipboard, which is shown here on the lower left, within a room if you need to easily assign more dwellers to the room or to swap dwellers between rooms. This is an example of a room that has a space availability for one additional dweller. Mr. Handy can help with incidences such as putting out fires, defending against raiders, exploring the wasteland, and collecting resources. When I have raiders, I take Mr. Handy and I move him into the highest position of the shelter so that it doesn't have an impact on my dwellers. You can place him in the upper levels and he will help fight dangerous raiders. You can only have one per floor, and you can have multiple Mr. Handys. I have 3. One is on the first floor, one is on the second floor, and one is on the third floor. So they all help out with the raiders. They do collect resources, which is great and everything. Exploring the wasteland, they're not that great at. And I guess putting out fires to help. If he dies, you can pay to revive him. If he explores the wasteland, he only will find caps and a small number. He won't do all the other aspects of exploring the wasteland. Like you can't go on a side mission, he can't meet anybody, etc. If you need to assign someone to a room, go to your list of dwellers and sort by job. The ones on coffee break can be assigned to rooms since they're not assigned to rooms. This is the mysterious stranger. If you hear a piano noise, and the louder it is, the closer he is. If you click on him, you can earn thousands of caps. I've earned like 4,000 caps by clicking on him. And he can be behind something off in the distance. He can also be in the elevator shaft. You will hear a piano noise when he appears and a noise when he leaves. If it's loud, he is close, and it's a softer noise, he's far. He stays on the screen for about 10 seconds. The radio station is a waste of time. You're going to meet more dwellers by wandering around the wasteland, a lot more. And yeah, you can pull people in, but I had to do a lot of radio broadcasting in order to attract a dweller. And it is supposed to increase the happiness of your dwellers, but if your dwellers are happy, then it's not that useful. Exploring the wasteland with Mr. Handy is also a waste of time. Pets are a waste of time. Pets really don't do anything. If you die, they will bring your objects back to the shelter, but if you catch, if you check every day and you see that somebody died, you just pay to revive them. Rushing production can be a waste of time. I do use it sometimes, but you got to learn how to do it. There's a lot of ins and outs with rushing production, and I do use it sometimes. But you want to have good production anyway, so that you're always positive. Placing dwellers to defend the main entrance is a waste of time. So I'd rather have them producing something. When I put them to defend the main entrance, they just sat there doing nothing. Pets are mostly a waste of time. If you explore the wasteland and you don't have good skills or weapons, it's good. It can help, but and they can assist in combat. But in general, they give bonuses, but it's too much to manage. Well, this pet has a bonus, and what room should it be in, and who should he should be standing next to. So the pet has a bonus. What room should he be in? Who should he be standing next to? Who should be assigned to based on his bonuses? It gets to be very confusing, and you're going to get sick and tired of swapping the pets around, and you're just not going to do it after a while because there's just better ways of production and better ways of exploring things, and they're cute and everything, but the dwellers are more powerful in combat than the animals. The dwellers are more important for finding things. The dwellers are more important for production. The animals have a small impact on combat, exploration, and production. Okay, there's also a link. This is in cheapbooks.cc, which is my forum. Go to the video game section and look for Fallout Shelter. And there's also a link over here to YouTube, to my YouTube channel, which has a video with other tips that I did with me actually playing the game. This is obviously forum posting. Okay, if you have any questions or comments, please post below and check the date. This was May 27, 2022. If many months have gone by when you watch this video, there's a chance I may have added more tips, or maybe I added a Fallout Shelter guide or other material. There's not a lot here, but there is some, and it is expanding. If you have any questions or comments, please post below.